Hello, my name is Lance Lee, and today I will be discussing the more optimistic side of immigration. To be more specific, I conducted an interview with a recent immigrant from the country of Sierra Leone. Through this interview and my research, I hope to display that America is still a land of opportunity and people can still find a place where they belong here. I will be using some secondary sources to provide context for a couple of terms and topics of discussion, as Sierra Leone is not a well-known country to the majority of Americans, and its internal methods or machinations, even less so, understood. I conducted my interview on March 28, 2024 with my interviewee, who will be giving the pseudonym Mr. T since they prefer to remain anonymous. They spoke a great deal about the differences between their home country and America. In their own words, Sierra Leone was, quote, as different to the US as night is today. When I asked them to elaborate, they described how the education system in Sierra Leone was a lot less flexible and more troublesome than the American system. After some research, I found out that Sierra Leone's education system begins with 7 years of primary school, then comes around 5 years of secondary schooling, and lastly an optional 2 years of sixth form study. Unfortunately, an article published in 1985 to the International Journal of Science Education revealed that approximately 56% of students drop out of Sierra Leone primary school before completing it, and 60% of those that make it into secondary school also drop out before completing it. When I asked Mr. T what he found most problematic with Sierra Leone education, they said that Americans have the option to choose their classes and make changes to their curriculum based on what they wanted. Meanwhile, in Sierra Leone, children are not allowed to do anything besides the same routine everyone else is doing, until they drop out or eventually finish their schooling entirely. When I asked Mr. T why he was so adamant about getting a good education, he stated that he wanted to get a good job in the States and that he is a staunch believer in better education equaling better pay. Mr. T also went on a tangent about how the competition between businesses in America allow for many different occupation opportunities compared to Sierra Leone, where the job market was fairly scarce and undeveloped compared to America. Moving on, I asked him what the biggest problem with Sierra Leone was. He responded with, quote, the Sierra Leone government is run by nepotist, and before I left there, a major civil war was going on. The war he is referring to is the First Liberian Civil War that lasted from 1989 to 1997. According to a research report by the Refugee Canada's Journal on Refugees in 1997, the war had spread outside of its original country, resulting in a massive influx of refugees pouring into Sierra Leone. The war also led to an incursion into Sierra Leone that left at minimum 10,000 people dead. Mr. T blames the government for not properly stopping the violence before so many people died. Lastly, and most importantly, to include the interview, I asked Mr. T about the core aspects of my immigration studies class. I asked him if he ever experienced discrimination based on his gender or race, and if so, would he consider the experience to be xenophobic in nature. He did not have any experience with these topics, but did respond strongly when I inquired if he felt like he belonged here. To paraphrase what he said, Mr. T believes that he belongs here because he has been able to raise a family and live a better life in America. He has a good job that is both enjoyable and brings in a decent salary. His 2 children will grow up with a great education while still being free to choose their path in life. Once that path is chosen, they will be able to easily find their own jobs in their respective fields without the risk of being, quote, replaced by the sly nephew of some high-ranking official. He told me that there isn't really anything major that he misses or would want to bring over from Sierra Leone besides some specific aspects of culture. Those specific aspects being making communities a bit more close-knit compared to the disconnect of American neighborhoods. He stated that in his life in Sierra Leone, he knew everyone around him. Meanwhile, in America, he barely knew his next-door neighbor. To him, immigrating to America is the best decision he ever made, and a sense of belonging is simply an easy way to encompass all the things he has come to enjoy as a citizen of the United States. He states that it is his best decision he made was ever was to come over to this country, and that he truly enjoys being here.